Testing, what's good, people? Just live looking at the town hall. Call us up, let us know your opinions. We'll watch the town hall, see what these guys have to say, and yeah, just quick impromptu live stream, man. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Monday. This is the town hall featuring Knicks management, Wakanda Forever, Steve Mills, Scott Perry, and Coach David Fizdale. So let's take a listen, and we'll wait for Jay Ellis to get in here.
During this summer, we're sending videos of the guys working out. I know he called Kevin Knox.
Entertainer, what up, man?
Kevin, independent of us. So KP's engaged, and we're in a good place with him.
Yeah, I would add, it comes through, when we did communicate with him, the excitement comes through when you talk to him. So I think he's really excited about us bringing Coach Fizdale in here and the direction that this Knicks franchise is headed.
You flew to Latvia to meet with him.
Yeah.
How long was the flight, by the way?
Oh, it was a hike.
Johnny Tappy, what up?
I don't know, babe. How long was that flight? About 20 hours or so? I mean, it was, we had to get off in, where were we at? Copenhagen.
Yeah, let me know if the volume and everything is okay, man. Hit that like button,
awesome
subscribe to the channel, salute to the
What's the
entertainer.
number one thing that impressed you about him in that first face-to-face meeting?
He has an incredibly engaging personality. Like,
Yo, we live, man. I'm about to patch you in.
The way he welcomed us.
Okay, cool.
He
I don't think my
hugged me,
headphones
dapped me up. We just immediately
I can hear
started
you.
talking. He threw on some Spanish hip hop and we jumped in his Bentley. And, you know, he and I was bobbing down the street, and then we didn't get to talk basketball until like well after dinner that night because we were just talking family and you know, kids getting to know my wife. And he did. That's a fine, by the way. Whoever's phone just went off. We find that in our locker room.
Still got jokes.
Phone goes off. But yeah, it was fun, man. And I went over there. I had my laptop. I put together like this hour-long edit, offense and defense. And we never watched one speck of film. Like he's taking us to Latvian saunas and. But it was great. It was just you know, it was exactly the kind of trip that you know, I couldn't have envisioned a better trip connecting with our best player.
All right, before we get to the next question. Just gotta shift this
Yeah,
on.
exactly. Yeah, I get some money. I like that, man. Get some money, man. Get some money.
All right, the fans know, Knicks fans, and I've been one of them since I was 6, they understand the deal going into every season, what's going on with the team. And even though this is not going to be an easy year, perhaps, for wins and losses, and you obviously hope
Oh, we got echo in here? All right, hold on a second.
But they understand building blocks and the young players. And I think one of the reasons why the fans are so excited
it might be
is the two
from my
guys that you
end. Hang on.
drafted this summer. All right, Scott, first let's start off with Knox and talk about what made you, what put him over the top for he was the guy that you wanted.
Well, there's a number of things that stuck out for me and our staff with Kevin.
Yo, let me know if the echo went away. Let me know if the echo went away.
You know, he has the link.
Let me know if that echo went away, yo.
You know, he came up in the household where his dad was a professional football player, so he's
all right, not yet. People in the chat were saying it's an echo. People in the chat, just let me know how the sound is, man. I gotta tweak it.
That where he had been
I
challenged.
appreciate it. Shout out to
go up
everybody in the
against
chat.
best.
T-Love,
And
Entertainer,
our
T. Williams,
intel,
Dale Dudley,
research
what's
on
good?
him,
Young
found out the
talent,
young
what
man
up?
really wants to be great, and that means a lot to
Hey,
us.
Decker
as
in
a
here. I'm
staff,
just getting
just
I'm
how
getting Jay
important
Ellis in the
game
chat
is
right now.
to these players. And with everyone we talk to in and around his world,
Hector, what up?
That's what we learned about him. We met with
Jay
him
Ellis, I think you
got
gotta turn your about
and then when he came here to New
your
York,
sound down.
so he impressed us all the way around.
Just
high character guy with high
turn my
talent.
I don't have it on. I don't have it running anymore.
Once we met him, so we're happy to have him here.
Well, he was obviously highly touted, but the second-round pick, I wouldn't call it a safe pick, but it's a creative pick. And you look, Mitchell Robinson, a lot of people obviously didn't know, and then we watch him in the summer league.
He knew.
Right. I mean, that's called scouting. And
Oh yeah.
so talk about this guy, and what made you think that he has a real chance to be something?
Well, if you again to do the background on these guys is so important. Well, you know, Mitchell, when he was high
Am I in
school
CP?
senior,
Am I in?
Yeah, I'm about to get. I'm
ranked
working on
with
it
all
right
the
now.
top players
All right, cool.
in his class, and he's a 7-footer who's just a freak athlete, natural athletically. And so he performed his best against the best guys. I watched him in the McDonald's All-American game over a year ago, and he was one of the standout performers there with a number of the guys who went in the lottery this year in the draft. And so we figured you get down to early second round, he's a good young man. He didn't play any last year, but we feel like he does things you can't teach. He can run, jump, block shots, rebound, and where the game is going, the pace of the game. He's got a chance to do some very special things.
I got to get Jay Ellis in here and just tweaking the screens right now.
As a young man, and we're confident we have the resources in place to do that.
Scott made a good point. We brought him in for a visit, and we knew he had a different trajectory to how he came into the draft, but we felt something good about him. We felt like who he was as a person, his commitment to being great, you could tell. Now, there were other guys we brought in that we said, you know what? We don't want that dude with us. Yep. So we saw people that we knew we didn't want.
We said that a lot.
We said that a lot. But there was something special about this kid that we felt good about from the time we just sitting talking to him, going out to dinner with him.
He was elbowing me the whole draft. So we got Kevin Knox. We're like, yeah, home run, right? So we started getting to 30. We're trying to work trades to get up, and he's like, I'm telling you, if he lands there, we got to get him. We got to get him, because I didn't know the kid. But obviously, I got great trust in Scott and Steve and these guys, and man,
that's good stuff.
When I started getting into the film on him, and then we got him in our gym, and he started practicing with us, I was like, this is going to be a fun project.
Jay, let's look up real quick.
You touched upon it. I mean, obviously having the talent and skill level is important, but there are a lot of players with great skill, great talent who just don't make it. The intangibles that you look for, you've touched upon a little bit, but what are the intangibles you look for besides obvious athleticism and skill?
I mean, the character of the person matters. I mean, again, I've been in the league a long time, and like I said, I've seen a lot of great talent come and go, but just the guy's personal character, understanding right from wrong, and bringing a tremendous work ethic and appreciation for his job and what, and being able to set goals for themselves. All of those type of intangibles, because I think in the guys sitting in the front row, they can all attest to this. They played against a lot of talented guys during their tenure.
Yeah, I wonder who's going to ask that no question, man. That's why I wanted to be in there, bro.
Who's going to work harder, who's going to want to do more.
Noah talk.
Those internal things that we don't see, but we sense them and we see them come out in terms
be good to go.
of how they go about their work each and every day. And the game means something to them. I know it sounds simple, but I say this all the time. I want guys for some reason
you in there.
The NBA was to shut down tomorrow. Then I got on the phone and said, hey, but we got to run down at the local YMCA at 11 o'clock. Who's showing up to come play? Because they just love to play. And the more guys you can have like that on your team, I think the better off you're going to become.
All right, let's get some of the fans.
Finally, let's get some fan questions.
Over by the microphone, come on up and ask the first couple of questions. Hi there.
Hi. First, I want to thank you for this opportunity that you've given me to address you. I appreciate it.
Uh-oh, what's she coming with?
Like everyone else,
yeah, real fans with these screen
I was
questions.
devastated when KP went down last season, and I can't wait to see him back on the court. Although it looks like the league thinks that he's coming back around Christmas, i.e. the Christmas Day matchup against the Bucks.
Okay.
Not too subtle. I'm wondering if it doesn't make more sense to keep him out for the year.
Good
while
question.
we develop
It's a
the
good
young
question.
players that you're talking to us about, and while we develop our culture. That way, when he returns at the start of next season, we as a team can be at full strength right out of the gate and hopefully win. It's very possible, and I think we all acknowledge that we could be under 500 at Christmas.
She kept it a
And-
buck. Oh.
Well, sorry, guys.
Damn.
I said possible,
On the leg.
but it is possible. And if he comes back, he would be carrying the load.
Possible. All right.
And a potential re-injury would be devastating to our long-term plans, as well as, not to mention, free agency next summer. So
Oh, she's with it. She came with
I know you're
with
probably
it.
going to tell us all he's going to come back when he's ready to come back.
Oh,
But
shit.
I think that
She knows
we
her
have
stuff.
to be really smart
Yeah, she knows
about
what's
when
up,
that
man.
is. That being said, I'm also happy to hear he's in New York because I'd like to see him on the bench this year.
Oh.
I think that would be good for team chemistry and also for the culture.
Okay.
I'm about to hire a new coach. Wait a minute.
Okay.
All right, guys, you want to address some of her concerns?
You know, thank
All
first of all,
right,
thank
all
you for your support.
And I just want to say
There's
that
more.
it would make fans like me and everyone here really happy to see him in the Garden. And I'm very excited, Coach, that you're here. Really
Oh, wow.
excited to see what the team does.
This is a speech
I'll
or a
be rooting
question?
for you
Hell yeah.
and go Knicks.
That's a good call right there. That's a good thing. It's a good question.
Well, that'll wrap things
That
up
was-
for tonight. Thank you
Might
very
have
much.
just hired a new coach.
That was a question. Well, for real seriously, thank you for your support. Thank you for
Tony B,
sharing
what up?
with us what your views and your thoughts.
Yo, you guys make sure you
Our
subscribe to the
goal
channel if
is
you're not already
to do
subscribed.
anything that
Just post-game
jeopardizes
live,
KP's future
live looking at the town
as being
hall.
one of the foundational pieces of this team. So he's going to come back. He's back. We'll have some medical evaluations of him this week, and we'll start to develop what the right plan is for him to for this plan to come back. But we are not going to do anything that jeopardizes, the future of this franchise, and we're going to be consistent and stay true.
Oh, this week.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Nick Drees,
All right, let's get
I know
another
my
one
video's
selected
delayed,
some of
man.
the
Been
fans
having
right
some
by the
issues
microphone,
with
so next up.
the stream these past couple of days, but
Hi,
we're
my
working
name is
on
Mike
fixing it.
Croza. First, welcome,
they're gonna
Coach
evaluate
Fizdale.
KP
Super
this
excited
week.
to have you here.
Yeah.
This question is for Steve and Scott. I know you both have talked a lot about, in the past year, building the right way and being patient with
He
building
works
a
at
core
MSG.
that can ultimately compete for a title. Under previous regimes, we've gotten a little impatient at times. So to fans like me that love the current plan and want to see it through, what can you say to reassure fans like us for that?
Ninja, what's up?
I think we'll
Easy
start
Huncho, what's going on?
with acknowledging that you have a reason to be skeptical
Okay.
and accept
He kept
that.
it 100.
And all we can do is demonstrate to you by what we do
Fans are
that
real.
we're sticking to the plan. And I think since Scott's been on board, we've been true to what we said we were going to do. And I'm a New Yorker. I don't want to see the things that have happened in the past happen again. And so I can just give you our word that we are going to fight through this and push through this.
When's the
and do
Noah
it the way we
question
said,
coming, man? Somebody
and
ask
we've
Noah
laid
a
out that
question.
we're going to do it. That's what
It's
I'm going
coming. Oh, it's coming.
Thanks.
And I would just add
Unless
too
they
that,
they screen it.
I think you got two pretty patient personalities up here too, Steve and I. I mean, I just and I've been around the league a long time, and I just know the importance of not overreacting to certain situations and staying the course. And we firmly believe and are committed to what we think is the right way in building this team. And you hear me talk about step-by-step approach all the time, not skipping steps. So we hold ourselves to that on a daily basis, and if we try to get too far out in front of our skis, we got people in our building to remind us, hey, remember what you said step by step. So,
Thank you for your question. Let's get another one.
How you doing? I'm Greg Armstrong.
I knew this dude was
26
gonna get
year
on,
season
man.
Ticket holder.
Greg is an OG. He's an OG, man.
I'm super excited about the new beginning. I was in Las Vegas, had an opportunity to see Kevin Knox and Mitchell Robinson, for that matter. And my question is,
missing this Greg
what do you
question.
guys expect to see from Kevin Knox this year?
I think that's the coach's
Coach,
question.
Well,
hey, we drafted him. Now
It's
let's
on
coach.
me now.
That's on the
well, you're gonna see what I think you're gonna see. You're gonna see an exciting offensive talent. You're gonna see a kid who will be challenged defensively. That I think can become an elite defender in the league. You're gonna see me put him on a lot of great players early on, so he can get his butt kicked a little bit.
All right, throw him in the fire. Okay.
You have to. That's the only way.
Okay.
If you just think back to Kobe Bryant's early years, right? You remember those first few years of the playoffs and he went through hell.
Yep.
Right? Steve Smith, all these, they was posting him, beasting him. I think Chris Childs gave him a 2-piece. So he's got to go through that, okay? Yeah. And so you'll see some ups and some downs, but I think you're going to see the reason we drafted this guy is because he really wants to be great. He understands what's coming at him right now. And the fact that he's so coachable, really
I got the ill delay on your.
Yeah, man, I gotta get my camera fixed, man. It's crazy.
I'm from my own feed.
I want to ask you about, he's not a rookie, but obviously so young, and we saw great glimpses. We saw the usual rookie struggles. Frank Ntilikina, where's he at in your mind in terms of development, and what's his best position?
You know me, I'm not going to give him a position. I just think that, these guys are so talented now. You got multiple players on the court that can dribble, pass, and shoot. Why put him in a box? So I just look at him as a guard. I look at him as a guy that can make plays for other people, make open shots. He can organize you, and he can guard 1 through 4 on the floor. That is where I think he's extremely elite.
And I would add, really proud of him this summer, the way he attacked developing his body. I think he's about 15 pounds heavier, and that's all pretty much 10, 15, muscle that he added. I mean, worked extremely hard. I mean, he went home for a couple weeks right after the end of the season, and then he's been in New York.
Went through 4 on the floor.
And for every day throughout. And so the commitment that he's showing to get better as a player, you can tell, you see him walk around in the practice facility with his shirt off all the time. So I know now he got a little more confidence. The last year he never would do that.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. But now,
the other thing with Frank, there was really a positive sign was he was invited to play on the French national team.
Yes.
In a qualifying event this year, and he made the decision not to play because he said, "I want to be in New York with my teammates, with the coaching staff, getting ready to play for the Knicks. So I'm going to pass." So that was a very mature and thoughtful decision for a young kid.
All right, let's bring up another. And tell us your name and how many years you've been a season ticket holder. Last one, 26. I believe the first woman was it 44?
Oh my God.
44 years as season ticket holder.
I'm not coming close. Hi, I'm Karen DeVries.
People in France
I've
are
been a
pissed
season
at
ticket holder
Frank
since 2002.
passing
so
on that
16
team,
years.
man.
Not quite into that. Coach Fizdale, welcome to New York. My question is really for you. I'm a firm believer that basketball is a team sport. You don't win by having one person on your teams. But that being said, you need a leader. Who do you see as our leader this year?
Well, that's something I'm going to let them figure out. I think designating leadership, often you can make a bad gamble on that, a bad decision. Leaders will emerge as you put them through challenges. So I don't think I can necessarily give you a good answer to that. Obviously, I'm going to challenge KP to when you're the best player on the team, you have to be one of the leaders. So but he's going to be out, and so the other guys have to kind of figure that out amongst themselves. And once they
who do you guys think is a leader on this team, chat?
Yeah, who you guys think is the leader on this team? Leave a comment in the chat. Let us know your thoughts. I mean, I don't know, Jay. This is probably going to be Lee.
Obviously, you have a lot of nice young talent.
I mean,
but you always
Lee
have
is going to be the captains.
Lance Thomas leads the team in inspirational speeches. I said
That's
that.
it, man. It's going to be Lee and Lance, for real.
Tough times, etc.
I think he's
Talk
Draymond.
about that, about balancing the roster a little bit, and who do you look for in terms of helping the younger guys that way?
Well, first name that comes to mind, Lance Thomas, obviously been well respected as a person first and foremost, but his work ethic, he's all about the team, he's all about winning. He's a guy that when players come into the locker room and come to practice every day, they can see his example.
Fizz once veteran.
Just in terms of how he
I'm going to try to restart the stream and see if I can get my my camera back up to speed.
To him. Courtney Lee's been in the league a long
people in the
time.
chat, I'm going to stop the stream for 2 seconds and then bring it back up. It shouldn't affect what you're watching, but bear with me 1 second. Now,
and so the way he competes, fights, battles each and every night, plays through injury. Again, those guys are I think, a good.
Still a little bit delayed. I gotta fix it later on.
And David, off what you said too, I mean, the coach has to, obviously, he's in charge, but there are some times where you've got to let him figure things out themselves.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, again, I think sometimes you can get in trouble just designating who's going to lead them. The troops should have a little say in that too, I think, when it comes to the locker room. And so I'm going to lean on the team to give it
So
back
you mentioned
to me.
Lee.
I'll have some ideas, and you'll be able to see.
He talking like he's going to stay.
They can't trade him.
Like you said, Lance Thomas is a natural.
They're going to.
Obviously, but I want to see some of these young guys
2
step
years
up
left
too.
on that deal. Nobody want that.
I just hit Kevin Knox with a text this week. I said, you know, you went to 1 year of college. Mitchell Robinson didn't have any of that. Can you just lead him? And so, out of nowhere, I get a text back this weekend. Kevin Knox, hey, Coach, me and Mitchell just left the gym. We got a workout in together. We're about to go eat. Just letting you know.
That's cool.
Perfect. So just setting up little things like that so they start grabbing the leadership without just handing it to them. That's cool. Right?
And it's the little things. The guys see it. You know, Ennis earned his stripes a little bit last year. We had a game. He came into the locker room on crutches and played. And the dudes on the team were like, wow, I've never seen a guy come
This
in
is the man.
and still play in the game.
This is the man.
So those little things that happen that elevate a guy's stature within the group, you know, they happen naturally.
But I said it earlier too, and I really mean this because they've given me the freedom to do this. Leadership, playing time, starting positions, you got to earn it. You're not giving out nothing. All right, so that's going to build our DNA.
My
with
guy
this team
Ennis.
is that everybody has to earn what they get.
Let's get another question from the audience. Next up.
Hello, guys. My name is Greg McCree, and I've been a season ticket holder for 26 years also.
Nice.
Keep what you
Welcome
killed.
to New York, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay. Looking forward to some success. We would love to see a parade down Broadway, but
Yeah.
you know,
How you talking?
but realistically, that probably won't happen this
All right, you got
season.
money too? All right, that's what's up.
I would love to see it happen, but what would you consider to be a successful year in wins and losses? If I could ask that question.
I don't think I can put a number on that with this team this year because I don't know if you can base success on any of that. We're going to play every game to win it. We obviously know we have a young team this year, and a lot of bumps and bruises come with that. But I also don't want to put a cap on them either. You know, if the kids are out there kicking butt, they kicking butt. If they're having some suffering and going through some young team stuff, then that's what they have to go through at that time. But I don't think it's fair to put a number on their wins and losses right now.
And I would add that the overriding thing for us is just to see a group that's competing and fighting every single night. That's the tone we want to set. That's the identity we want to establish for this team, and then we'll live with the results.
Yeah, and then we're gonna judge. We're gonna come out and play hard every night. We're gonna compete every night, and we're gonna establish player development goals for all of our players. And the one thing that we're going to be talking about a lot is how are our guys getting better over the course of the season. Guys have to be better players at the end of the year than they were at the beginning. And if we do all those things, the wins are going to come.
Thank you.
Let's get the next one up.
How you doing, guys? Evan Giamanco, 8-year season ticket holder. This question's for Scott and Steve. I know, pup. You know, Mike touched on this a little bit about kind of balancing the roster.
This is that same thing with Jeff last season.
If you look today, we have a few weeks left before the season starts. Are there any areas, and I know, Coach, you're not a big position guy, that you think we would like to add some depth to?
Somebody said Kyrie.
Just positions. Just
Need a big man.
Just positions. Just positions.
No, again, when we went through the process in hiring David, you know, he talked a lot about kind of a positionless basketball and the versatility. And I think what we were able to do through the draft and through free agency was add some guys who could play multiple positions. And so I think we're comfortable right now in terms of the numbers that we have that can play the various spots along the floor. And I just, again, it's up to those guys just how good they're going to be in each and every one of those spots. But in terms of numbers, I think we're pretty comfortable where we're at.
George Miller, yeah, I believe so. It's
That
the
was
first
one
time
of the
they're
things
doing
that impressed us about David. We talked a lot about how he would utilize the players on our roster. and the style he would play, and again, that positionless basketball. So we feel good about the guys that we have on the roster right now and in camp, and we'll have a group that can play.
Thank you, guys.
Now, obviously, you're not allowed to talk specific names, but in the front office, you're already formulating plans for next summer and down the road, correct? These things are already being discussed?
No, what I would say to that is that the year's upon us, and that's our main focus is this 18-19 season. Now, much is being talked about that we could potentially have cap space, and that's just a byproduct of our planning and organizing that we've done.
Stutter game is real.
Started 14 months ago, and so, in all honesty, I'm not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves because this team requires our undivided attention this year, and for us to take that next step. So again, we don't want to get too far in front. But once we get to 19, the summer 19, we can have more conversation.
Yeah,
exactly.
When you look, in fairness to the guys we have, Mario Hezonja wants to prove to us that he should be our free agent at the end of the year. Ennis Cantor is going to try to prove to us that he should be a Knick for the long term. So we, out of respect that those are the guys we have, and our commitment is how do we get those guys better? How do we get our team better? We owe it to them to focus on this year and developing up the group that we have.
There could be a position that you think you might need, and some guy this year just catapults, and all of a sudden it's no longer a need.
Absolutely.
Right.
That would be nice.
All right, let's go back to the audience again. Next up.
Thank you. Thanks. I'm Mike Beckerman. I'm first year. It's my second year season ticket holder.
A rookie. We got a rookie. Huh? Exactly.
So. Not the 20-something years yet, but hopefully I'm getting it at an inflection point. So the next few years will be better and better. Mike Breen stole my question a little bit. But,
he got a custom unicorn shirt?
Comment on how there are a lot of projections that we're going to have cap space at the end of next summer. And I was just wondering if you could describe your philosophy of how you invest, how you think about investing in free agents. And if we were to add one or two top-level free agents, how would that fit with our goal to keep developing the young guys?
Our focus really, as Scott said, is to develop the guys that we have and focus on what we're doing today. And the cap space is going to be there just because that happens to be the way our contracts played out. But our goal is to develop our young guys, and as we go through the season, we'll see what it leads us to when we get to next summer. But right now, our focus can't be out into next summer. We have to focus on David getting acclimated, getting this group right, and focused on what we're trying to do as a team this year.
Because we got 82 games to play this year, at least, and so a lot can happen during that time. And to the point Mike made earlier, maybe there's somebody in-house that really rises up to that occasion, and you got the person right here in the building. So we're excited about that. We're just looking forward to doing our daily grind each and every day.
And we're going to let you go. Usually the rookies have to sing happy birthday at our place.
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to. And do the laundry for the other guys, too.
Thank you. Steve, you mentioned Hezonja, Noah Vonleh, another one, two really intriguing players who obviously have talent, were drafted very high, didn't work out on their first team. If you can just talk about a little bit about what you think their potential can be and why you took the chance on them this year.
I'm going to let Scott. Scott knows Mario the best, but actually before I turned to him, we got to know Mario through the draft process when we drafted KP. So he was a guy that
no one's talking about the other Noah yet.
Intrigued and interested in.
Man, nobody cared about Noah Vonleh.
But when Scott and I talked about it, Scott had so many positive things to say about him as a competitor, and the improvements that he had made over the course of last season. So that was part of the reason why we decided to pursue him.
Obviously, I spent a lot of time with Mario in Orlando, part of the group that drafted him. Very talented. he is a gym rat. We talked about guys who love to play the game. If the league shut down tomorrow, he'd be playing basketball somewhere. I can guarantee you that. And what I've learned over time in this league is that there are guys that get drafted high and they don't make it at their first, second, or sometimes second or third stops, based on a number of factors, based on maybe where they were at personally, based on the situation or whatever the case may be. What's encouraging about someone like him, because he is so passionate about it, he's one of the names that David talked to us about early when he came on board. He really liked him and respected him from afar. Sometimes a change of scenery, being with the right people at the right time, can turn a guy's career around, and that's what we're hoping for him. And we also knew from the free agent recruiting that he was pretty highly regarded, because there were a couple playoff teams that he turned down an opportunity to play for that actually offered him a longer-term contract, and he decided to come here and join us in New York. So excited for him and for us to see if he can really turn the corner as the NBA player here with us. And Noah, same thing. He's been around. He's had a few stops. One thing he has shown during his time in the NBA is that he can rebound the basketball, and he's got a great body for the game, very good hands. Just it hasn't stuck consistently for him yet with the team. But again, one of the things that I know that I believe firmly in is the type of culture and environment that we establish in the development culture, a very accountable, a high accountability structure, but we're also highly supportive of these young people. We think he has a chance to regain some of his confidence and bolster our front court this year and really help this basketball team.
Yeah, as we watch Noah in pickup, you just look at this guy physically and what he can do on the floor, and you're saying, oh, this kid in the right set of circumstances can be a really productive NBA player, given the right set of circumstances. And he's another guy that we give him credit. He didn't want to be in a situation that he's going to a training camp without any guarantees and having to make a roster. And he put himself out there and said, okay, I'm going to select the situation that the Knicks have, and I'm going to give myself a chance. So we were impressed by that in him.
Next question from the audience.
Sorry, it's my friend. David Jacobowitz, 8-year season ticket holder. Pleasure to meet you guys. So you guys just kind of touched my topic on free agency. I know you don't want to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it. So, bottom line is this free agency class is ridiculous. It's probably one of the best in years. You have so many superstars. I don't have to name them all. But, currently you guys have done an excellent job. You have a young nucleus, and you built a great situation here with young talent. You put us in a great situation with the salary cap where we have close to a max contract for next year. But, we got rid of, if you're able to shed, I don't know if you've thought about this is my question. If you're able to shed, if you're able to shed like 2 of these bigger contracts, we have enough for 2 max contracts. Like, obviously you're thinking about this. Obviously it's a risk. You never know what's going to happen.
Hey, can I just say this? What I love about New Yorkers, they will ask you the question and answer it for you in the same breath. I love it.
So I'll let you guys talk now. But you add 2 of these guys with that young nucleus. We're all of a sudden in this weak East going to be top 3 maybe next year. Come on. What do you think? You have to be thinking about that. All right, you're up.
Yeah. We're going to let you respond. No, exactly. No. But look, again, to repeat what we said earlier, though, again, it's important that we focus on 18-19. And I get it. I understand that, the tendency of people, fans, all of it, to drift into the future. But part of my job and Steve's job is to stay grounded and not get too far out in front like that. So again, we're gonna deal with that class, and next summer when that arises. Right now, we're fully invested in this group that we have in this locker room, and we're excited about it.
And here's the thing, can I say this too, because I don't get into the free agent talk, but one thing I can say is this: if our culture isn't right, the free agent market don't matter.
Right.
We ain't getting nobody.
Of course.
So we got to
Set that
focus
culture
on
up,
what we
man.
got to
Very
do
important.
now to build this team
of
to
course.
attract the free agents we need.
Right.
And that's one of the things we feel good about. 'Cause you know, in our circles that we travel and the people we talk to, we know that there's a change in how people perceive us.
Right.
The Knicks. That when we go out to Chicago at the pre-draft camp, you know, the rookies that are coming in to interview with us, they want to meet Coach Fizdale. How come I didn't get a chance to see Coach Fizdale? We start to talk. We know that the players are talking about New York is a place that things are different there now. So if we do all the things we're supposed to do over the course of the year, we'll be in a good place.
Thank you.
Cool. If you guys need a consultant or anything, it's like.
We have one question from Alex, who's on the live stream watching. This for Coach Fizdale. What has coaching in Miami taught you when you were coaching these all-stars and great players? What advice from that time would you give younger players about winning?
Oh, man, that's a good question. It's so much, though. The one thing about coaching great players is I don't know how much you coach them as much as you interact and exchange ideas and you challenge each other. And what it teaches you is to keep an open mind, because a lot of times, as these guys can attest to, they're on the court and they see things that's happening that as a coach sometimes you can't see it. And especially when you're dealing with that high-level elite player who sees the game 3 or 4 steps ahead, a lot of those conversations aren't me saying, hey, you got to do this. No, it's more like, hey, what do you see?
He's obviously talking about LeBron.
And you end up learning a lot more from the great players than you do actually probably giving them. And so I was lucky to be around a lot of guys like that. And some of them wouldn't let me get a word in anyway, so it wasn't even like I could coach them if I wanted to. But but ultimately, just and for young guys, you know, my big thing is just show up every day. Show up every day and just keep dropping coins in your piggy bank from a work standpoint. That's all I keep telling these guys. Put your head down and just keep investing in yourself. And I really try to teach them the importance of taking care of their body, how that affects their brain, because ultimately, if they take care of that and they know how to eat right, they know how to get sleep, you know, they carry themselves right as a professional, you know, we built a pretty dang good player. And so I try to really educate them on how to become that.
Just off the Miami experience, a LeBron James or a Dwayne Wade, what separates those players, those elite all-time players, from guys who talent very good, but what's the separation there?
It's a real, so far from what I've seen, you know, I can't say exactly what it is, but the drive is unmatched. I can talk about LeBron now because he signed his contract, right? Can I say something about him now? Is that legal? Well, I'll give you an example of him. This is a guy that would ride his bike to work 20 miles. You know, he got the tights on, and he's, you know, and I pull up at 7 in the morning, and he's sitting there. He's got full sweat, and now he goes in and he lifts. He watches film. He does Pilates. He's on the court shooting. And then you start seeing guys come in. And it's like, it's no secret why he's become that. And, you know, just I think also the ability to apply things quickly. Dwayne Wade, I would go into a shoot-around game day, and I would work on a move with him that day, and that night he'd be doing it in the game. Other guys, it'd take them like 2 weeks, maybe never. They get out there Euro step and break the leg trying to do some of that stuff. But that was the difference between the great players and the good players, you know, because they really just,
Howard just started
you know,
shooting.
ultimately there's just something special that you can't identify inside there, that when the moment happens, certain players just rise to that moment, and you know, some players come in with it and some players have to go through hell to get to it. I thought Dwayne was a guy that walked in the league cold-blooded. I thought LeBron had to suffer to get to that place where he became cold-blooded.
Yeah. Next up.
Hi, my name is Matt Jordan. I'm excited to go in as my first year as a Knicks season ticket holder. Thank you, thank you. Coach, this is for you. I feel like you've been touching on it all night, but I'm really curious. You've been mentioning culture, chemistry. with the young group that we've got, how are you going to bring these guys together? How are you going to increase their bond with each other and with you? Can you kind of go in a little bit of detail about that?
Well, relationships only build and grow stronger when you spend time together. And that's why I've been so excited, because again, the last 6 weeks, we've been together, 5 or 6 days, for about 4 or 5 hours a day. Countless meals, team building exercises we've done. We did this really cool thing you guys probably saw on the internet. My man Benicio Del Toro came through and showed us Sicario too, and we had the whole team there, and we surprised them with that kind of stuff. I do a lot of stuff that forces connections and collisions with each other, where they have to interact, where they have to spend time with each other. Service is a big part of our culture, and so obviously to our community and to each other. So we spend a lot of time emphasizing that and putting them in real situations where they have to serve, and really educate them on why service and why it's important. And what I've learned through building teams on that concept of respect and service and growth mindset and just competitors only, that culture, that what comes out of that is something awesome. And you grow really awesome, strong, tough, professional young men in that kind of environment. And I've seen it work, and so I'm hoping that we can apply that here and grow these guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nobody asking the Noah question,
we have one
man.
more.
These questions
more
were
set
screened,
from
man.
the audience.
Definitely screened.
Only from the season ticket holders, you realize.
I say, we got ready
look at it.
How's it going, Mike?
We got there, we was
Steve,
gonna get
Coach
They got
Fizdale,
Anthony
Scott.
on there.
Anthony Donahue, been a season ticket holder for 15 years.
Look at that.
This was fixed, man. This was fixed.
I probably only missed like 10 games since 2001, though. So, anyway, so obviously there's no getting around the fact the last 17 years haven't always been pretty, and this is more for Scott and Steve. What's one or two things that have maybe you've seen go wrong over the last 17 years that you're like, we are not doing this again. We are not going down that road.
Well, you know what? Even though I know you ask me all the questions, you don't have to come to a forum to ask the questions. You see me all the time.
We like best friends.
But what we're not going to do is take shortcuts. We're not going to trade our draft picks. And really, we believe that New Yorkers will live with a plan and buy into a plan as long as we can articulate it and we live it. And so I've seen when there's something shiny that says, okay, let's change direction right now because we can go get this guy. And we're not going to do that. We're going to lay out a plan and we're going to stick to it.
So that said, if one of those free agents is available via trade, you're probably going to stay away?
We're gonna build this team the right way, and what we're not gonna do is trade away assets to get a guy that we could go get on our own later.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
He's not trading nobody.
Okay, another question from
Butler's not coming this season, guys.
live stream from David. What's the plan for the 3 point guards? Again, we're putting him in a point guard, but meaning Moutier, Trey Burke, and Ntilikina.
I got a feeling they'll all find their way to the court. They'll all play for me. Like I said during the press conference, I can see myself playing a couple of them together or all 3 of them together. Again, Frank grew 1.5 inches this year. I don't know if you guys knew that. Frank's 6'5" and a little change now. So, he's got a 7-foot wingspan. Frank can guard, multiple positions. So, with the way the league is going, it gives me so much flexibility that I don't have to necessarily pigeonhole them into who's this, who's that, as much as, when you put guys that can dribble, pass, and shoot on the court together, it seems to work out okay.
All right, how about some of the younger players?
He did not address Noah's situation at all. No one asked a question about Noah.
Trey Burke, who he just mentioned. How about some of those guys? What have you seen from someone, Luke Cornett?
I'm totally impressed with all of them because you can't fake work. And that's the thing about it. All of these guys have been here. Every guy you just named has been here every day and putting in the time and connecting with their teammates. When they play against each other, they compete like they never met. and I love that. You know, and so, like I said, I'm gonna roll the ball out, and let's see which junkyard dog wants to play the most and who wants what spot, and they'll figure it out for me.
All right, we're going to close out with what I was told is called a little speed round. We're just going to throw a couple of questions, have them answer quickly, just to give you a little feel for our three gentlemen here and some of the things they like. Favorite U.S. city besides New York? Let's go down the line.
Chicago.
Los Angeles.
San Francisco.
All right. Favorite holiday?
Christmas.
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 All right, man. We got the gist of it, man.
Favorite junk food?
Eagle, what up?
Pizza.
See, now, I don't consider pizza junk food. That's nutrition.
Wait a minute, I thought pizza was part of the food group, the 4 food groups. I am not calling pizza junk. I eat too much of that. No.
Then I'll say French fries.
Oh, God, what is this?
Is that junk food?
Oh, man, I'm trying to be nutritious.
I don't
said
know.
Waffle
I don't
House.
eat a lot of junk food.
See, let me just give you a little insight. See, he can't say anything right now. He's been on our case about eating the right way since he's been in there.
Because I'm making him live everything I say
so
to the players.
if he says anything remotely this junk food, he's in trouble with us. But I'm going to say something. Because I had a sweet tooth in the group. So depending upon what day it is, like today, you know, maybe it's Milk Duds on Monday. Maybe it's a payday by, exactly. So maybe it's a chocolate chip cookie on Tuesday.
All right, next, number one superstition that you have.
I already know. She knows mine.
You know what? I'm just not a superstitious person.
All right.
Playoff suits. If I win in the playoffs in a suit, that suit's getting worn the next game. I don't give a damn. Tie, suit. I watch the under stuff, but the top stuff is I'm rocking it again.
Back in my coaching days, I used to have a similar one like that. But then I started losing enough games, and I figured, well, you know what? That really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
By the way, speaking of suits, I spoke to Clyde recently. He's got a whole slew of new suits for this year.
Okay.
All right, we'll wrap it up with final. Who inspires you?
Fizz, I'm gonna say his mom or something.
Yeah, that's what I was on.
Probably.
Go,
Scott?
Easy for me. I mean, he passed away with my dad. My dad was my inspiration when he was living, and he still is my inspiration as he's transcended up above. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that there's a lesson that he shared with me or something maybe that he even accomplished in his own life that I don't think about him and know that I wouldn't be sitting here today without his influence in my life.
David?
Similar to him, but my grandparents, both sides of my family too. You know, I didn't grow up with my dad too much, so my white grandparents were a huge part of my life, despite the fact that my dad wasn't there. And then my mom's father was a sanitation worker for 40 years. And you think about from a sanitation worker who fled Jim Crow to me sitting here as a head coach a few generations later, how can that not inspire you, know? So that's, yeah, especially, and like I said, my grandfather and grandmother, they fought World War II and met on the battlefield. So that's my inspiration, you know.
And I would have to echo my mom and dad. They were my inspirations. My dad and his brother were the first African American teachers in Nassau County in Long Island.
Hempstead.
And they became basketball coaches and football coaches. And so I watched how they carried themselves and how they led and how they lived their life and how they brought young people together and gave them inspiration. So that was really special. But also my mom was always there. My parents were divorced when I was a kid. And my dad was always getting the accolades for the things that he was doing as a coach and a leader. But my mom was always there for me and my brother. She was the one that would take me to basketball practice, and She did. She gave up so many
I'm not
things
giving Jimmy the max,
that I could
Kyle.
have the life that I have now. So those are the two people that really inspired me.
How about a round of applause for our front office and our new head coach, Steve?
All right, we got the gist of it. Let me get Jay Ellis reestablished here. This is post game live. Salute to the people. Salute to the nation. CP here from the Knicks Fan TV. My man Jay Ellis from the Nick of Time show. Let me just get him reestablished here. Yeah, watching behind the scenes, live and direct, man. Live and direct behind the scenes.
That's what we do before we even go live.
That's what we do, man. This is the prep work, man.
But now we winging it.
Yep. Live and direct, man. Happy Monday to everybody in the nation. What's going on? Hope
shout out to the chat who was here early.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to the Giants fans out there. We will be better. Don't worry about it. Yo, JL, just straighten yourself in the camera. You good? Yeah, that's good there. There you go. There you go. All right. Yeah, shout out to everybody out there, man. George, CK2K, what's going on? Ricky D, always in here. What up? Dale Dudley, C. Tatum, what's going on? Golden Eagle. Yo, the phone lines are up. The phone number is down below, bottom left. Give us a call, man. Let us know what you thought. You heard the Knicks management talking, echoing, most of the same sentiments that we've been hearing all off season, right?
Yeah.
Jay Ellis. No shortcuts.
No shortcuts. We're doing it the wrong way.
Sticking to the script.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the questions was definitely cookie cutted, man.
Yeah.
The questions was cookie cutted, bro. Not one person asked a Noah question. Come on, man.
Nah, man.
That was fixed.
No Noah questions was getting through the process.
That was fixed, man.
And you had to have at least 15 G's.
Facts. No, well, it was all season ticket. I mean, rightfully so. Only so many people could could get their questions through. But obviously, it's for the season ticket holders, which is understandable.
Any takeaways from that? What you just saw?
I mean, like I said, it's along the lines of the same. What we've been hearing all year. Stick to the script. Stick to the rebuild. No shortcuts. Fizdale had a lot of good things to say about Knox. He wants to turn him into an elite talent.
Mm-hmm.
What else? He thinks he can be an elite defender. He said he's going to throw him out there in the fire.
and hope he don't get two-piece like Chris Childs.
Hope he don't get two-piece like Chris Childs. He brought up the Chris Childs. He knows his history.
That was funny.
That was funny, man. He knows his history.
He definitely knows this. He knew from LA and we were in New York that we would enjoy that reference.
Factuals. What else? Some good questions. The First Lady, I think, had the best questions in terms of pressing them on should we rush KP or should we wait it out? And it's an interesting question, right?
Yeah, she asked him the question and then told him what to do at the same time.
That's
what I like about that
that's
question.
why we're the best fans, man. That's why we're the best fans.
She was like, should you bring KP back?
Facts.
No, you shouldn't. Before you answer that, no, you shouldn't. But this is why you shouldn't. Now answer the question. Facts. Should you?
But it's an interesting question because it's because there's so many different dynamics at play here. And I see a caller coming in from area code 203. We're going to get to the caller right after this. But there's so many interesting dynamics with the KP situation, right? Right. He's going to be looking for that max deal between this year and the end of next year.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back from injury. We want to show the free agents potentially, quote unquote, that, we're going to be a competitive team, that we have some promise. So there may be some pressure on the organization to rush him back. I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, it all depends on what's happening, too. I mean, listen, they Cape on KP's little thing that he does on YouTube, he said that the doctor explained that this is the best break he's ever seen. It's the best case scenario as far as a break because it only tore the ACL and nothing else.
Yeah.
So he might damn well be ready to be back by Christmas without any kind of fear of being re-injured. Right. They're going to have him on a minutes restriction.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have him playing 40 minutes a game. It's going to be 20, 25 minutes a game, if that, max. So, I mean, I don't think the Knicks are going to be responsible here. I think they're going to play it out. They're not going to rush him, and they'll just kind of bring him back just to get some reps in down the road. I don't think they're going to worry too much about it. I hope not, anyway.
Indeed. Everybody watching at home, man, leave a comment in the chat. What do you guys think about KP's injury and when he should return? Do you think that the organization will be pressured to come back? Do you think he might be pressured to come back a little bit too early? Leave a comment in the chat and in the comments. Let us know what you think. Jay Ellis, let's go to our first call, man. Area code 516, Long Island in the building. Let's bring him in here.
All right.
Yo, buddy, just turn your volume down.
Yes, sir.
Yo, who's this?
Yo, it's Joe from Long Island.
Joe, what's up, Joe?
Y'all can't hear him.
No,
you can't hear him? Hold on a second.
I'm a fan.
You can hear him now?
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Yo. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I was watching, like, the live, town hall meeting.
Yeah.
I am confident as a Knicks fan, and I think, like, right now, like, we're heading, like, in the right direction. And one thing, actually, that makes me, like, more confident is the fact that, David Fisdale and Steve Mills, Scott Perry, they are all together on a lockstep. Like, it's not like, one is doing something that the other one, like, is not, agree with. They're all, like, in the same page.
Yes.
And when it comes to the KP, like, question, and the way they answered that question, like, that's exactly, as a Knicks fan, what I was expecting, basically. And even, like, with free agency, like, the way, like, they view free agency, like, they don't want to blow up, like, this year's team confidence. Like, they want them, like, to play it out.
Yeah.
They know that they have, like, 3 guards in the team, and they want them, like, to basically battle it out.
Right.
And if something good, like, can come out of it, and they're gonna go with that. But that doesn't say that, they're not if, like, Kyrie or anybody else, like, become available, they're not gonna go after that person. But they want to see what they have in the house first, and that's exactly the thing that Knicks, organizations, like, wasn't doing in the past. And that's why, like, us as Knicks fans, we've been, like, suffering, like, for the past 5 years. And I think, like, we're heading the right way. And there's a possibility that this year we might see, like, a whole different Knicks team, like, playing. And I'm very proud. I'm very happy. And then I think we're heading the right way.
All right. Yo, Joe, man, appreciate the call. We're going to move to the next caller because we got a couple in queue. But definitely call back next time.
Word.
All right, appreciate it.
I agree with you, man. Thanks for calling in, bro. Yo, George, you see that number in that lower left corner? That's how you call. The number's right there, 657-383-1509, George.
Yeah, everybody in the chat, let us know how the audio was for the caller. If it's too low, too loud, I got to, these things are sensitive, man, so I want to make sure everything is working out well. Shout out to everybody in the chat, post-game live, impromptu chat. We just did a live look-in at the town hall, took a look at the questions, featuring...
I do want to say, though, I'm not sure if I don't know if it's telling the complete truth or not, because they're not Phil Jackson, and they're not just going to tell the truth for the media to the detriment of the team. But I'm not sure if we're going after any type of free agents, because any big free agents, they're going to need a pick. I would think a pick or a young asset.
Yeah.
Considering that they're not really willing to give up assets and picks right now. I'm not sure we're going after any free agents during the season. At least that's the impression they're giving off.
Yeah, I wouldn't. My fault. I'm just adjusting your audio a little bit, getting some feedback here. Yeah, my fault on the audio, man. Like I said, this stuff is sensitive. So I just turned down Jay Ellis. All right, let's go to the next call. Let's get him in there. 203. Yo. Caller, you there?
Hello?
Yeah, you can hear me?
You hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, man. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's Isaiah from Connecticut. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to Sim.
Yo, Isaiah, what up, man?
Do the Knicks forecast. Not much is going on, man.
Chilling. What you think of the town hall? JL, so you can hear Isaiah?
Yeah, I can hear Isaiah.
Okay.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, also too, I wanted to shout out to the entertainer on this chat and shout out to CK2K. All y'all guys keep doing your things with the video chats. The town hall was really great, man. I was kind of disappointed nobody asked a Noah question. Some of the
right.
asked a Noah question, but everything that they said was really good. They brought a lot of stability, good, honest questions. I like Steve. Steve was really honest about what has been going on the last 20 years. And one of the first things that really took me, that didn't take me by surprise, but was really good. He said was, I know it's okay to doubt us. You should doubt us. All that's been going on the last 20 years, you should doubt us. But he was like, hey, things are different now. We're going to change. And I honestly believe him. This is the first front office I believe it.
I understand, man. I'm with you on that, man.
Hello?
You can hear me?
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying, yeah. And then, David Fizdale, they made a lot of good points. A lot of people asked really good questions. And I felt good after listening to it and felt a lot more confidence of where they're going with the players, and they're not so focused on the 2019, but they're focused on the now and the players that are here. They said you got to respect the players that are here now, and you got to let them know that these are our guys right now, and that they're all trying to earn the right to still be with the Knicks next year. Like he said, Mario's trying to work hard to be with the Knicks. Cantor's trying to work hard to be with the Knicks. So it's just not about next year's players, it's about the players that we have right now and the focus on that. So those are a couple of the points I took away from it and felt really good about it.
All right, Isaiah, appreciate the call, man. I'm going to move to the next one. Just get these in and out.
Man. Yeah, I agree with you, man.
Yes, sir.
I agree with Isaiah right there. It probably wasn't the popular answer, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're going to go after Kyrie, we're going after Butler and KD all next season. It wasn't probably not the popular answer, but that's the answer that's best for the team.
Right. Yo, hold on. I think somebody calling the wrong line, man. Hold on, bro. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Nope.
Yo, I think somebody calling the old line, man. Yo, people out there, my fault with the audio. It's a little sensitive over here. We trying to get it right, man. So just bear with me on the audio.
My volume is loud.
What'd you say?
My chat is saying my volume is loud.
Yeah, I'm turning you down right now. Shout out to everybody watching, though, and supporting, man. We got a lot of people in here. If it's your first time on the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We're going to be going live after every Knicks game, giving our reaction to the game, who we thought showed out, and, taking your phone calls. So appreciate everybody for supporting, man.
Exactly. Hit the subscribe button on my channel, too. If you want to see Nate Robinson dance, hit my subscribe. Hit the subscribe channel. My channel right there.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah. I mean, what you think about Mills? Because Mills got a lot of repair that he needs to make to his reputation, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but it seemed like he's changing his tune. What was your take on Mills's reactions tonight?
I mean, not even just Mills, but all the reactions. I mean, like Isaiah was kind of saying, like everybody just seems to be on the exact same page in their responses. They all know what they're doing. They all realize beforehand we're not going to answer these free agent questions and disrespect people that are here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to keep going with that. I mean, that's pretty much been the tone. It's actually was a similar tone last year, actually. To be honest with you, when Jeff was here, they all kind of seemed on the same page last year as well. But Jeff wasn't really their guy. So I'm not sure he was really able to kind of carry out what they really wanted for him to carry out throughout the season. But this year they got Fizz going, and I think he'll be able to actually carry out what they're asking of him, which is to compete on a night-to-night basis and to have a team that can, compete and be together and grow together and not just kind of quit,
True indeed. All right, let's get to a next call. Area code 347. Yo, JL, just check me on the audio too. Yo.
All right.
Hello.
Guys, I'm on?
Yeah, you on, man. Who's this?
Yo, this is Cody.
Yo,
This is Cody. What's going on?
Yeah, you gotta turn his volume up.
Turn his volume?
Turn his volume up. Yeah, I can't hear him.
Yeah, I can hear you. A little spotty.
Oh, hold on. Hey, JL, how about now? Cody, go ahead.
Yeah, much better. Yeah, no, I think. Listen,
yeah, his volume's still down.
The foundation is there. The foundation is strong.
There you go.
You guys hear me?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that the foundation is strong. I think those three guys up there, man, I don't think there's anything like it in the NBA, which is kind of refreshing for New York. I think if you Kevin, if you Kyrie, you're definitely looking at this and you're like, okay, let me see what they're going to do. I think I tell all my Knicks fans we have a really good problem this year. We have about 4 or 5 players who are basically working to save their careers in the NBA or continue to play in the NBA. I think you let those guys play, the Enes Kanters, the Trey Burks, the Moutiers, you let them play, and you're trying to get as many assets as possible. I agree with Mills. Like, you don't do anything hasty right now. You just let those guys play and take something from Danny Ainge, and by February, see how many assets you can collect from those guys. Who's gonna give us some picks for Burke? Is there gonna be a team desperate enough during the playoffs who's gonna be like, you know what, Enes Kanter can be our center? I don't know, but I think you let those guys play and let the league look and kind of see what we have, and hopefully the only player that's safe right now, to me, is Frank,
go back down.
KP, of course, and Knox. Everybody, and Mitchell. Those 4 guys, that's it. Everybody else, even Hardaway, is expendable.
Yeah, I agree, man. Keep what you kill. But I'm kind of worried about the point guard situation still, because not everybody's going to be able to play. You're not going to really be able to get a good look at every single person just because of the amount of young guys that we have right now. I mean, I guess that is a good problem to have, but
on the computer.
All right, appreciate it, Cody.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm having some sound difficulties right now, man. But go ahead, JLs. What were you saying?
I was like, it is a good problem to have all these young pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also like, it's almost a double-edged sword a little bit, only because for young pieces to actually develop, they're going to need playing time. And we have a lot of young pieces who are going to need playing time to develop. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen, what route we go to as the season kind of progresses, to see who's going to actually get that playing time to develop and who we actually try to trade.
Well, I mean, it seemed like they was hyping up Mario a lot. They was talking heavy on Mario, during the town hall. So
yeah,
it seemed like they're gonna showcase him a lot for sure.
For sure, I like that. They seem like they're just going after a certain type of player. All those type of players who are real gym rats, don't like to leave, and I like that they all kind of on the same page of what type of player they want. And I'm not gonna lie, even them talking about Mario got me a little bit hyped on Mario. Like, okay, all right.
Yeah, true indeed, man. Yo, everybody out there, apologies on the sound. We're gonna get the sound fixed, man. Right. Like I said, this live streaming stuff, you gotta expect the unexpected, man. Sometimes this shit don't work the way you want it to.
Word. Shout out to Imbert the Great for subscribing to my channel, man.
Yeah, Imbert. Shout out to Imbert. Yeah, I'm trying to think right now, Jay Ellis. You should be let me just see this right here. What you think of all this Jimmy Butler trade talk, man? They need to cancel that, man. What's going on with that Jimmy Butler trade talk?
Man, it's like one of those things. It's a double-edged. I like Butler's game for sure. I love the intensity. He is a two-way player, but he's 29 and he's a little injury prone. I'm a little torn with Jimmy Butler, man. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little torn. At one end, I'm like, he would be a nice addition to our team because of his leadership. Like, not even his leadership, but his tenacity. I love hard workers. I have an affinity for hard workers. And I know he's like those guys that they talk about who are gym rats.
Yeah, but are you trading for him or are you waiting on him? I think that's the question. I'm waiting on him. I'm telling you two things. I'm waiting on him, and I'm not getting him by himself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess you have to wait for him because we still really don't know what we have right now.
You gotta wait for him. There's no point not to.
Exactly. I just know there's another school of thought, and thanks Shells Heavy for subscribing to the channel.
Yeah, shout out Shells Heavy.
There's another school of thought because you know how like Kawhi is with Toronto right now. Sometimes easier. It's harder to pry a player away from somebody if they end up getting traded mid-season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So like, if Kyrie is saying, "Hey, I want to come to New York and I want Butler with me," and he's already here, it's a little easier. But if he's somewhere else, we have to pry Butler from somebody else if he gets traded mid-season because he's not really messing with the Wolves, then it gets a little harder. But so it's a tough situation. But at this time, dude, I don't really want to give up any assets either. So, I mean, maybe we just wait. Kyrie comes with KD. Who knows?
Oh man, that would be the ultimate, man. That would be the ultimate.
Since Maul said KD's a lock.
Yeah, I don't believe them liars, man.
Maul said it.
I don't believe them liars, man.
Maul said it.
Forget that, man. Yo, I need to get this sound cracking for these callers, man. Yeah, I don't know what's up with Jimmy Butler, man. He got a nice young team there. It seemed like he don't like Wiggins and Towns, like for real.
Nah, that's what it seems like. But then it seems like Towns is trying to go to bat for him because I saw something that said that Towns isn't going to re-sign with the Timberwolves until they fix this thing with Butler. Wow. So is that a Towns issue, or maybe there's some other another issue that we really don't know about that's kind of internal with the organization?
Chris and Smith said, "Why you want these old dudes?" And I agree. Like, Jimmy Butler gonna be 30 by the time he's ready, man. And when you mess with Tibbs, all them dudes that leave Tibbs get washed up. When they leave, they're done. It don't matter how old, how young. Tibbs gonna throw you through the grinder, and then nah, man, I'm not doing that. I really borderline really don't even want him.
Yeah, players with Tibbs is like dog years. Like, I don't know. It's like if he's 30 on the Knicks, then with Tibbs he's like 45.
Facts. Justino Ventura, $5 super chat, man. Appreciate the support.
Yeah,
Definitely
man.
Appreciate the support, man. If you guys watch at home, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Like I said, we will be on after every Knick game talking, getting some callers in as well. Yo, I want to take some callers, man, but I don't want this echo happening. And I see some callers are in the house right now. Let's see what we do here.
Yo, thanks for being active. The chat is holding us down with the subscriptions and the dough. Thanks, man.
Definitely appreciate it, man. All donations go back into the channel, man. That's all it is. We're trying to grow the channel. Definitely appreciate it. Not necessary, but definitely appreciate it. So definitely appreciate the support. Who else in here? Jason Santiago's in here. Shout out to Jason. Ted Green. Shout out to Ted Green. Quiet Money. What's good? Quiet Money says we good with the audio. Yeah, I know you good with the audio with me and Jay Ellis, but I want to bring in some callers. There's an issue with the callers where we're getting some feedback, and I don't want that to mess up the viewing here. So I need to take this offline and get this fixed. But we will get it fixed for the next time, man. So I do see 2 people in the queue, and we'll just get it rocking for next time for sure. Well, what else? We got Media Day, the 24th. So we got some things coming on the pipeline, JLs. We got Media Day coming on the 24th. Mm-hmm. Training camp on the 25th.
Yep.
First preseason game against the Wizards, October 1st.
Yep.
We got home opener, October 17th against the Hawks. We gave away 2 tickets to that game on Saturday. If y'all missed the Saturday live stream, what I've been doing is, so on Saturday's live stream, me, Jay Ellis, and the Knicks Film School. If you guys want to follow Knicks Film School, definitely give them a follow. We did our season preview, went position by position breakdown. It was really good stuff. If you missed it, I'm going to be streaming each night of the week. I'm going to be streaming a different breakdown that we did. So it kind of cuts up the live streams into shorter bits. You guys can consume it a little bit easier. You can also jump in the chat. And so last night we did the centers. And tonight I'll have the power forward episode up by within the next 2 hours or so. Say 10:30, 11 o'clock Eastern. So, you guys can check that out. And that'll be pre-recorded and live.
Word.
Yeah, man. What else we got on the horizon, JLs? We got the merch coming.
Merch is coming. Yo, I think it's gonna come. I'm gonna say by Friday. I'm getting close. I'm getting close to working out the kinks. For those of you who follow me on Twitter and Instagram, seems like I'm getting a really good reaction from kind of the sneak preview I've been giving of the merch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking Friday.
Okay. All right. Cool. I'm trying to think, man. I really want to take these calls, but you know what? Let's just let's wrap it up for tonight. Come back fresh for the next stream. And like I said, I'm gonna have that power forward episode. We're gonna be talking about KP, Hazonian. We talked about Vonleh. We talked about the power forward position going into the season. So I'll have that live stream coming up tonight at about 10:30 Eastern time. So you guys be on the lookout for that. And JL, let's go ahead and plug your channels, man. I'm gonna put the spotlight on you.
Okay, let's see. SoundCloud.com/Nick of Time Show for my personal podcast with my friends. We will be coming back in a couple of weeks. Also subscribe to the channel, YouTube.com/Nick of Time Show. If you want to catch the video of me and my friends talking mad smack and me and CP past post game live episodes. Blog, we blogging again too. NickofTimeShow.com. Anybody's a writer out there, they want to get their feet wet, want to blog, like to talk Knicks, holla at your boy. You can email me too. It's all good. But that's it.
Yeah, man. And Sire Joe Kim asked if they asked about Noah. No, they didn't ask about Noah. I think the questions were screened beforehand, because I find it odd that all these knowledgeable Knicks fans was in there asking questions and they didn't ask anything about Joe Kim Noah. So I think that was intentional. But listen, yes, the Knicks are changing, but not that much. You know what I mean? They still gonna keep that PR tight and under wraps. That's just what we gotta expect. But yes, Knicks Fan TV, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, like you're watching right now. Hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. Definitely appreciate the support from all you Knicks fans out there. I will get the audio to those of you on the line. I want to get the audio perfect. I don't want any more echoes. So I'm going to get the audio and the video fixed. Like I said, with these live streams, sometimes it's technical difficulties and you just got to roll with it. So, but definitely appreciate everybody in here supporting us. And look out tonight for the Ricky D just subscribed to the Nick of Time show. Look out tonight for that power forward episode. I'll be back in the chat talking to you guys about where we're going to go with the power forward positions.
Dance.
Yeah, man. I'm going to eat some food and come back. Power forward edition, season preview coming up in 2 hours, man. You guys be good. Peace.